Hello, everybody! It's me, Lorelai, and we're here to talk about PAX. I'm joined this week by two great friends. All of us were at PAX together. First of all, let me introduce our special guest for the podcast. Solon, you're back. Solon is back.
Hi.
The
Hey,
mighty
I'm back.
BSB. Yeah,
That's right.
it's
I've been on a journey of scholarship. I've been on the waves of the what are they called? The marble halls of learning. I've spent a year in my master's program, and now I'm a library guy. I'm a guy full of libraries.
awesome. And we're also joined by fellow Gamesline member, Franny. Franny, how you doing?
Hi, long time no see. Long time no speak.
Yeah, it has been a while, and now you people actually do get to see, which is exciting. But yes, as I said, all of us were together at the Penny Arcade Expo this week. If that's what they even call it anymore, I think it's just PAX now.
Yeah.
But we all had a great time, and we arrived home, and now we're ready to talk about things. We had to wait a few days because of fun things called embargoes.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes. A couple of companies I spoke to were like, you can't talk about our stuff until Thursday. And I was like, awesome. I'm going to talk about it on Thursday. I'm very excited to because y'all have games I love.
You woke up this morning, you installed the new Hollow Knight game, except you didn't because the servers were down, and then you immediately went, all right, I'm going to talk about every video game I'm not allowed to talk about.
She woke up, felt that embargo lift off her shoulders.
Yes, exactly. I felt that embargo lift, and then I went, I'm going to log on to Final Fantasy XIV and do some crafting in space until while I edit down some of this B-roll I have. While I finish that and make like 500 stickers, because literally last weekend was PAX, and tomorrow I am off to Rose City Comic-Con for 3 days of tabling there. And then the weekend after that, I am at the Pokemon Summerfest.
Fuck yeah.
Tabling at that. So it's gonna be I'm so excited for convention season to be over, y'all. You have no idea. It is so much.
Yep.
But yeah, so all of us were at PAX for different kind of reasons. Let's do a quick so what was your agenda coming into PAX this year? Before we talk about any games, what you wanted out of PAX? Did you get what you wanted? And what was it you were after? Solon, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think I always go into PAX with an agenda. It's always a very gay agenda that I want to like. I'll have some kind of badge with some kind of marking on it that says you got to go do a thing. And like 2 years ago, we had the media badge. And so we ran around doing a bunch of interviews and stuff and spent the entire 4 days with like a whole bunch of like a laundry list of things that we wanted to do. This year, I did a panel. This year, I had a special guest badge, which meant I got to do a panel. And that meant that the whole rest of the weekend, other than the Monday, the Monday that I had the panel, the whole rest of the weekend was free to do whatever I wanted. And so my goal, the agenda, the specific thing that I had, I called it the Void Agenda. It was to take Virals, my dear friend and game developer of The Void Reigns Upon Her Heart. Go wishlist it now. It's Lena Rain's last week's favorite game. Go play it. It's very good. But it was Virals' first PAX. It was Virals' first convention. It was Virals' first time in a place with a whole bunch of gamers where he was tasked with pitching his own game. we were at a rooftop after party where he pitched his game to some guy, and they immediately turned around and said, "Hey, I bought your game. I'm going to go play it when I go home." And it was
Nice.
whoa.
I'm really stoked for him. Honestly, I want to see him truly succeed with that.
I know, right?
Because it is something special. It's the kind of game that normally isn't for me, but it clicked.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Like every time I watch you play it, because you play it a bunch on your stream, and every time I watch stuff like that, it's just so nice.
I actually I was at the No Clip panel with Danny O'Dwyer, and they announced that they're expanding No Clip to a No Clip 2, the sequel to No Clip, which is supposed to be specifically about indie games and indie stories and stuff like that. And when I saw that, I lit up and I was like, "Hey, I've got a story."
Yeah.
My dear friend. Because Viral's entire game, The Void Rains Upon Her Heart, it's like, it spans the entirety of the Steam Early Access. So, since he's been in Early Access for the last 6-ish years, he's gotten to see, like, the entirety of, like, how that has evolved over time. And his whole thing with having, like, being the most uprated game on Steam ever, all in a row, having 700 upvotes just like happening all sequentially over the course of 5 years and not having a single downvote, like there's something there that is not supposed to happen, because in that time frame the game got updated hundreds of times. And so at any point, any of those reviewers could have been like, "Oh, this update made this game not work the way I like anymore. This update made the game bad now." None of that happened, and so the community started getting built up on like, when's it gonna happen? When's someone gonna come in and be like, "First, haha, I'm gonna be the first downvote on this to break the streak." That ended up happening a couple times, and then 2 weeks later they would like be like, "I'm sorry, no, this game's really good," and they'd flip their review back to positive.
Perfection. Like, that's what you want to see.
But then the entire community would be like, "Oh man, we gotta keep the streak going now. Someone please just commit." It was I'll be the one. Luckily that's all happened. That's all because like the game has met YouTube multiple times. It has met it enough times now to where a big enough YouTuber has taken it, and then that brought in some down votes, which is like, okay, great. It's just weird that it didn't get any before, because like it is a controversial game. It's got a very specific niche. It has a lot of gay girls in it.
Oh no!
These are not like there's plenty
it
of
has
reason
my
for some
favorite
person on
thing.
Steam to... Everyone loves it. Sorry, I don't know what to say. But yeah, I was taking the Void Agenda was taking Virals around PAX and showing him what an entire giant convention like PAX is, showing him the Red Bull fueled haze that is the 7-year long convention that lasts 4 days.
Did you stop by the Red Bull Creator Club and get a Red Bull cocktail?
I was on the Red Bull streets where the Red Bull DJ played me a Red Bull song.
See, I was walking through the Red Bull streets, and I immediately got out of them when a very naked man in angel wings walked by.
Ooh. Was it a Red Bull?
That was a real angel.
No, it was just a guy in angel wing with a dong flopping everywhere.
Nice. Oh, that's just Seattle.
Just hanging dong. It's the most Seattle-ass thing. Glittery angel wings hanging dong. It was wonderful. Okay, now let's
Franny, Franny, what's your agenda?
I'll be honest with you.
How did you survive this weekend?
I never
you do double events.
I never have an agenda when I go to PAX. Mostly because starting 2 years ago, I also have to cover our wrestling show at Bumper Shoot, which is for some reason the exact same weekend. Luckily, both events have scaled down post-COVID, so they're pretty manageable. I only go into PAX. Well, this year they changed their times around, so I was really only able to go into PAX like Friday and Monday. So Friday I go in and I feverishly scope out the exhibition halls. And then I ask people who seem interesting, do you want to talk on Monday? And they're like, absolutely. Please don't talk to me today. And I was like, absolutely. I don't want to talk today. So then I go back on Monday and
Smart.
I see, I go back on Monday and I see if they're not busy. And I did talk to a few people. I also went to, or was hit up by someone from Slice, which is, I believe, give me a second actually. I think it's Seattle Loves Indie Creators Expo. It's a new thing where they have the Seattle Indies group kind of come together, host panels. They had like a little pitch corner where you could get some pitch experts to kind of hear you out and give you some tips. There were many panels. It felt like half of them were about AI, which was interesting. The space was nice. There were a lot of little corners for people to network and to do their own work if they needed to. So that was a nice little expo. And yeah, I mean, there's more. I saw a Dan Olsen panel, which was him debuting his Call of Duty Ghosts video.
Oh, you were there too? I'm so glad.
It was so good. Really speaks to the kind of intersectional critique that I think should be more prevalent in games writing.
The close play, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I just go in and I kind of treat it like a buffet and I'm just like, okay, what looks good? What am I hungry for? Let me eat it up. The nice thing about having something like a media badge is I feel like you can go at like a different pace. I don't know what it is about it where I'm like, I'm there to observe, and that's just so much less stress on me.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was my feeling too, as when I walked through, and then like you also just have more interesting discussions. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of it's such a different experience. I remember the first time I actually covered the show was when I was doing things with like I got a media badge through the comic book website that I was working for at the time. And its first year, the first year of PAX was such an interesting thing. The first couple of years were, and I still run under the same rule. My thing for PAX is I go because I like talking to developers. A lot of times I don't even play the demos they have going because I still run under the initial rule that PAX had where there aren't supposed to be reserved stations or lines for media. If there is a big line for a game, or even a small line for a game, and a developer asks me, "Hey, do you want to play our game?" And like, let's schedule. If I go there at a scheduled time that I have with them, and I see their table is full and there's a line of people, I'll say, "Hey, why don't we just stand here and talk for a bit while I watch somebody else play the game?" I don't want to take their slot. That's a lot of what I do at PAX is almost networking. Off the
sense.
initial, like, because now there are like media specific check-ins and lines and stuff. When it used to be, if you wanted media stuff, you were supposed to do it in a hotel down the street.
Mm-hmm.
I did one of those this year, but like, what's the word I'm thinking? But like, there were like a bunch of different companies that had like media lines at their booth, and I'm like, this is wrong. This feels wrong. So
Yeah.
I only took advantage of one of those, and that was because
Tell me about the one time. What's the one that drew you in so hard that you were like, all right, I'm breaking cool guy media edge, and she's I'm going in.
The new Onimusha. I had to.
Of course.
And the lines, all the Capcom lines were like 2 hours long. So I was just like,
They were longer than that.
I
let me
want to
tell ya.
schedule something. And like, so that was my one scheduled one. I did their other games during the media hour because they opened the show 1 hour early on Friday for media. And that I got a lot. I got a lot done then. That was when I jumped into a bunch of different games, and the stuff that I knew was going to have a long line. But yeah, no, this PAX was a weird, interesting one in that I didn't know I was going to be able to go until like day before, because I had everything booked out. I had everything booked out just fine, and then I made a money transfer from my bank to another account. They
You're a legal
accidentally
wire. You're laundering business. Yeah, we all know.
the laundering business. No, my investment account.
Your
but,
stock trading, your investment portfolio, and all the. Yeah.
No, my 401k. They transferred about. They fucked up and transferred a lot more money than I asked them to. So I suddenly had $3 to my name a day before the show. And I posted about it, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, you can stay at my house." So I was able to go. I was getting ready to cancel everything. I hadn't scheduled anything. Like I hadn't scheduled a lot of meetings, but like a couple of them, I messaged the PR people and was like, "Hey, I might not be able to make it." All that stuff. But I'm still hoping I can do some coverage. If you have any, assets, or if you have a demo, you can send me or whatever.
So professional.
I just wanted to let you know some things happen. I might not be able to make it. Most of the companies were incredibly cool. Like there's a lot of delightful PR people out there that are very good at their jobs. I know it's their job to be nice, but there are, you can actually tell when somebody is genuinely nice and genuinely excited about what they're selling. So, it was a lot of fun.
We have all been in situations where we have to be nice. You know what that looks like.
Yeah, exactly. And all right, so let's get on to the games. So I will start. I'm going to start because I want to get some of my big stuff out of the way.
So let's just shotgun a whole bunch of games because there's so many at PAX.
I got invited by what's the company? Square-Enix to meet them in a hotel to take a look at a bunch of different games that they have coming over the next few months. They wanted to prioritize games that are coming within the next, by the end of the year. So we will go into some of them. I'm going to...
Which is wild, because Square Enix did not have a booth at PAX.
They did not. Nor did...
They did not actually show on the expo hall. They just... Because, they had their presence at PAX was just in celebrity.
Yeah.
Just people showing up for autograph panels. And so, they had a presence, and it was very, we're better than this, in a way.
No,
not on
it was
purpose,
not.
but,
it was, we don't have enough coming for a booth, so next year they probably will have a big booth. You
know who was there? Spy Party was there.
Spy Party.
The Behemoth booth. Does Behemoth have a whole bunch of stuff they're coming out with? No, they're just showing their old games.
Larian was there again.
Larian is the same spot every year.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And half of their booth is merch. So
Square Enix lost their spot. I think that's I'm just speculating wildly.
I would not be surprised.
The real story.
There were a couple
they got embarrassed, and they were like, "I'm gonna take my ball. You gotta come to our little hotel with our little media badge." And sorry, Lorelai, go for it.
Okay, but we're going to I'm gonna screen share here a little. We are going to going to bring up our little media player here, and I'm going to hit play. So we're going to look at some of this stuff a little bit. So I went and saw, the first thing I saw was, I sat down. Well, this was actually the last game I saw at the presentation thing. But we are going to talk about first the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake.
Aww.
They are, I think this is the way, if you're going to do the HD 2D thing,
Very beautiful
to do. It's gorgeous, but it's more like the I want to say the Suikoden remasters, where they upres the background, but the character sprites still aren't the excessive bleeding into things that happens with HD 2D a lot of times. You still have sprites that look like they could have been on the PlayStation 1 instead of the what's the word? The PlayStation, instead of like new system, hey, here's some really high res like character sprites with backgrounds. And just like there's something delightful about seeing Dragon Quest coming out like this. I mean, these were games I grew up with, and honestly, they felt really good. A lot of the changes they made to make like the combat flow better in Dragon Quest 1, because you just have one character, and in the original, you didn't have a lot of skills, and they added a lot of stuff to this one to make it more interesting. And it did really good. So the demo for that was essentially you had 25 minutes to see if you could get to the end of this dungeon that they had. And it was a nice little challenge that went through and, showed you everything you needed to know about the game. You got to explore a bit, you got to check things out, and it gave you just enough time to, experience the voice acting and all that stuff. And then they sent you onto the Dragon Quest 2 demo, which had you going to one dungeon with massively underleveled characters, and just told you, try to beat the dungeon. And that was my favorite part of the whole thing. It was so speedy. It was so like, oh, your characters are underlevel. I did one fight, and then I realized if I want to actually get to the end of the dungeon, I have to run from everything.
Oh, no.
Because, like, every enemy is, like, taking off 3/4 of your health with every hit. And it just, like, it's very interesting, because they also added an extra character to your party. So you have a party of 4 instead of 3, like you did in the NES version.
Yep.
But even with that, being underleveled as much as you are, like every hit is like 90 damage. So it's like, oh, oops, I'm dead in 2 hits. And the entire and it was so funny because I got to this part that's playing right here, and I accidentally walked off the edge.
No!
I was right before the final boss, and I walked off the edge. So I had tons of resources. So I walked off, fell off the edge. So I had to run all the way through the dungeon again. And right before I got to the boss, I could run away from an enemy, and it killed 3 of my party. So I get to the end. And it's so just deliciously funny how we just got, I just got completely fucking annihilated, and it was so but I also felt really good that I went through the dungeon twice and survived. It was very silly, but it made me really excited about the games because, honestly, as I said, it's the HD 2D that I like. because it isn't so high res. And a lot of those games, I don't like how they feel. And this is the first time I've played through one of them in a while, outside of like Octopath, which, you know, is designed around it by the people who designed the entire aesthetic pretty much. And it felt really, really good. Like, I also really liked the presentation because their head of PR is for the game just gives you like a 4-minute speech before the thing, and you know, you have to watch a 4-minute video, and he's like the entire time it's like, if you have any question, ask a Square-Enix representative, who is probably me, who's creepily standing behind you looking over your shoulder.
Always.
It was very, very fun, and like honestly, it left me really, really, really. It took me from, this is a game I am probably going to get, to this is one I don't know. But I genuinely like, or it took me from this is a game I don't know to this is a game I'm definitely gonna end up getting. That's what I meant. I got it all reversed in my head. It's too damn hot here.
Is Dragon Quest 1 and 2, is that bundled together, or is that
is.
two separate games?
It
Okay,
is,
cool.
because they are much smaller games than Dragon Quest 3 was, so that's also why they released Dragon Quest 3 first, because Dragon Quest 3 is a prequel to both of these.
Right.
And like, it really was a good time, and really ended up leaving a positive impression on me, which I honestly didn't know if it would or not, because as I said, I'm not a huge fan of the HD 2D. When they get so up-res, like whenever anyone says,
Like
I hope
Project
they remake
Triangle Strategy or something.
I did
I'm
not
trying to
like
think
Triangle Strategy.
that
Like,
makes sense.
honestly, I think the only games that have really done it great are the Octopath.
Okay, because once you say both of those together, that's like half of the field. So I'm like,
because as much as I love my brain's not working, the old Super Nintendo game that got the HD 2D remake last year,
Live Alive.
Live Alive. As much as I love that game, I actually didn't like how the remake looked. I'm sorry. But I'm also not, like, part of the thing I don't like about like Octopath Traveler is every boss has to be 10 feet tall, 200 feet tall. And it's just like, that's just a dude. It doesn't need to be 1,000 feet tall. I
for the drama.
But like that was a game I thought the graphics kind of bleeded together, and some of the stuff, like whenever I hear people say like, we need a remake of Chrono Trigger but HD 2D, I'm like, fucking no, that's sprite work you should never touch. That would be like if they HD 2D'd somebody released a mod for the Suikoden remasters that like up-resed the pixel art for the characters.
You wouldn't,
and I saw it
2D a Rembrandt painting, would you?
Fucking exactly.
You wouldn't take Michelangelo's beautiful arches and turn this masterpiece into an HD 2D remaster.
It legitimately made me angry. I hated it. So, like, I saw that mod and I was like, this is so bad. No, if there's like two games you never touch the pixel art with because they're perfect, it's Suikoden 1 and 2 and fucking Chrono Trigger.
I feel so validated to see the Dragon Quest has adopted the Octopath HD 2D style, because it was so long ago that Octopath came out and I was like, yep, this is the future of the genre and this is going to rehabilitate the entire RPG. We're going to usher in a new era. And people were like, it's a game called Octopath Traveler? No, it's not. And I was like, I don't know. I really think it is, though. it's great.
It's like I said though, the Dragon Quest style, the way they did it, it's not the Octopath style of characters. It's
No.
not so like high res. It's got a lot more color to it,
Because it's adapting the Toriyama style,
Yeah.
right?
It's just so pleasant. It's very very pleasant to look at.
I think it's a cool translation.
Yeah. And then
style.
and then after that, we went into Octopath Traveler 0, which has town building. The Octopath 0 demo started with like, hey, take 5 minutes to build out town and do all this fun stuff. So you move people into houses and you build up all of your all of your characters you're recruiting, because it is what's the word I'm thinking of? It is based on the mobile game. It is. They took their mobile game, with it, and they went, hey, we're just gonna turn this into a full game. So the interest, and it's pretty cool. It's got, all the stuff from the mobile game. So I was already kind of familiar with how it works, with a lot of the stuff. And it continued to be like, this was so much fun to mess around with the just building out a town, because I'm a sucker for stuff like this. I play a fuckload of, farm sims and stuff like that. So having this in there was really, really, hey,
Is
I
the
love
whole game a town builder, or is there?
No,
there's a whole RPG section, right? I'm assuming.
So you build out your town, and then it's like classic Octopath Traveler, except instead of a 4-character party,
you get like 8 of them.
You actually do have 8, and you get your big line of characters, and how it works is all of your characters are constantly do gain a point of, I was about to say brave, because it's the same thing as like the bravely default thing, the Octopath thing, where you get your BP. And so what you can do is you can just swap who's in front over and over again and get like two turns in a row of full 8 points. Or if you wait until everyone has 5, you could do like, okay, here's a full turn of fully charged attacks, and then and then your next turn, you just swap your characters over and get a full turn of fully charged attacks. And then you swap your characters over again, and you get a full turn of fully charged attacks. So there's like a bunch of fun strategy with it, and just like all of the different skills and Octopath things are there.
This was always the plan. Octopath, 8-person parties. That's so much.
It graphically looks like the original game. A lot more so, because it's based on the mobile game that came out significantly before too. And it has all the mobile game characters, and it's like, when I was doing this, I was like, oh, I know this dungeon because I went through it in the mobile game. And the mobile game was a legitimately pretty good game for a mobile game.
Yep.
And just like, it continues to have the delightful animation style. As I said, like the Octopath team does the HD 2D thing better than anyone else. They are much better at not bleeding into the background with stuff. It just looks good and feels good. And it's nice to have more games of this type, and like, just, you still have the giant bosses, the very Octopathy things, but it's really nice. And all their demos are like, I got to the boss when my time ran out for it, because I spent a lot of time. They were like, hey, are you lost? I'm like, no, I'm exploring. I want to see what the world looks like. But like a surprise, it surprised me. Like, I'm really excited to see what this is when it fully comes out, because it is adapting the story of a mobile game into a full
Yeah.
game, recruiting people for your town and all that stuff. And, and then finally, the most important game that we played,
Right.
Final
for
Fantasy
business.
Tactics, baby. The Final Fantasy Tactics remaster is really good. It feels good. I like the fact that both the original game and the remaster are in there. My biggest qualm is that apparently when you choose the original game, you don't get a lot of the quality of life stuff they added to this one. You just get the original game with the original graphics made widescreen, which, I mean, gorgeous.
Yep.
But I don't hate the new style of stuff. I feel like it does a really good job of capturing, the original art design without being too much. So when a funny thing, the demo for it started with do some story stuff, start the game. We're going to show you our opening cinematic. And then you get to do the Battle of Xerxes Falls. And in like the last 20 minutes, and the whole challenge is, can you beat it? I put it on tactician difficulty and beat it in 3 turns because I put a summoner on my team and just dropped a Titan nuke on.
Just drop Titan.
You just dropped Titan.
Easy day.
But the voice acting, I'm gonna actually turn some volume on here. The voice acting is really good. It's like genuinely, like, very, very interesting seeing this game with voice acting and stuff like that. So the sad part of my demo, though, is I was on the last turn where I was going to win this fight. The power cut out. The breaker to the hotel room it was in tripped.
Lorelai, you blew up the hotel?
I blew up the hotel with... I tightened
Your summoner swag was too hot. You dropped Titan and cut out the power to the hotel.
Yeah, like everyone was taking like the like different parties, and I was like, I'm gonna go on tactician difficulty. And then I'm going to just drop a summoner nuke after debuffing everything with, I think, like, my team was like Time Mage, Geomancer, and Summoner along with Ramza, so it was just like complete annihilation. But I mean, honestly, I really like the way the game is looking in the new style. I think the new style it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be from initial trailers. It looks a lot better when you're actually standing there in front of your TV. And I think they kind of smoothed it out over time. I went to a panel on the last day with, or on Sunday, with the art director. And I went to a panel the day before where they were talking about how, like, we released the initial trailer and there was a really negative response to it. And
yes, there was.
we ended up rebuilding, reworking like some of that to, like, hey, what do we want? We want the game to look like the portraits as much as we can, while also capturing the original game. And also, we're going to include the original game if there are people who are like, yeah, I don't want to look at the new stuff. I don't want to look at the new style. And it was it's Final Fantasy Tactics. They're with, as I said, like, the voice acting is really well done. Just where was it? 30. Yeah. Just every character, every bit of dialogue, from dungeons to I mean, not dungeons, but to in battle when they're shouting stuff, to everywhere else, is just really, really, really nice to see.
Yeah, you seem to have this really special experience with the Square-Enix folks.
I mean, it's really
That's a whole
nice
side
to
of PAX that
yeah.
no one else got to have. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of content creators that got it, but there were also a lot of like just really cool. There were just a lot of really cool moments of where is it? Where is it? I think it was. I think it was trail. It was 8. I love this. They added like the full like historical records section with multiple things, including the old radio or the old books that they released.
I'm glad you brought this up, because if I'm remembering right, something about this release of Final Fantasy Tactics is it's supposed to be coming out with functionality that's kind of akin to what Final Fantasy 16 had.
Yeah.
The active lore thing that reads out, like you can pause the game and be like, hey, what is happening in the story right now?
Yep.
And they'll give you a really nice breakdown of things.
Yeah. And like just having the voice acting and whatnot made me so like I'm sorry, when you go into battle and you hear Agrius and she kind of sounds exactly like that fight in 14 and like screaming some of the same things. Oh, it filled me with joy.
It's really cool. I think that's the way that encyclopedias have been getting built into games, from the library's perspective, obviously.
Yeah.
The way that those have been getting built in have been emulating the way that trivia gets built into like live streaming movie apps, Netflix and HBO Max and stuff, where they tell you the details about actors and stuff. They put that into the games, and they looped it into the things that are already a part of making a game, which is having like, hey, here's my dictionary of objects, here's what they all mean. You have that in the background when you're making a game, and to put that into the surface and then tie it into like a real time, like, all right, you're at the part of the game where these characters are on screen, so we can pause and put those definitions up that were already in the background of our game, put those onto the screen. That's really cool.
Yeah.
We're really getting somewhere with the information science inside of games that I'm like, awesome, let's keep this going.
Yeah, that was honestly my favorite part of Final Fantasy 16. A game I love and hate at the same time. Because it is,
I don't want to get too deep into it, but
yeah,
with Final Fantasy Tactics also doing that, I'm like, yes, we're doing it. It's the future. There it is.
And like Final Fantasy 14 started doing it too. Like they started adding a lot of the encyclopedia stuff into the game rather than, hey, you got to go buy the Encyclopedia Eorzea if you want this info and stuff like that. They've been doing a lot of Square has been doing a really good job building stuff like that out, and it's like makes me simultaneously excited for the future of what they're doing, but also really scared considering how much like weird decisions they're making. Like eventually it's going to be like, you want the lore, buy the NFT. No.
They did. I'll say they did that for Owlcat. Did that for Rogue Trader, which for a Warhammer property is highly needed.
Yeah.
Oh wait, which part did they do? Did not the NFT part. They did the
no. Oh, I'm sorry.
The lore part.
As far as I know, like the lore, like they'll just drop canon accurate terms and then have it highlighted for you to learn what the hell that is. And that's very
they'll do the
nice.
tooltip style. Yeah.
There's a lot of Warhammer speak. So
yeah. Like I love stuff like that. So, and I'm glad it's more common now than it has ever been. Other games I played that I really, really liked. I think honestly my game of the show actually came from Namco Bandai.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree?
No, not at all.
Okay, So let me give you the pitch right now. It is a roguelike, a roguelike game where you, first of all, you craft your own swords. So you can kind of like, even though it's just aesthetic, you can kind of shape them, like make the blade go backwards or do funny things and like all sorts of things. So the conceit is you control two characters at once. Franny and I both played this at the end of the show on our way out. I had also played it earlier in the day too, but it is, the entire conceit is you control two characters at once. Your Tsurugi, who is your character with a sword, and your oh my god, what was it called? Your Kagura, which is a mage user. They have a staff that allow you to progress through the stages, and every character can be both. Each character as a Kagura has different magic spells that level up like Hades. Each character has sword attacks that level up like Hades. But you have to balance both at the same time because you are controlling both characters. And if you click in the right stick, you can literally control both characters, one with each stick. And part of the gimmick is you can't get too far from each other without tethering and taking damage. So there's this really interesting push and pull, like, my mage isn't getting out of the way of stuff fast enough sometimes, so I need to manually take control of them and control both at the same time and loop around bosses and stuff like that. And there's all sorts of like wild strategy. The game's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. And just the way the strategy of having two characters at once comes into play, it just feels really good.
I'll say as like someone who struggles to do two things at the same time. There were a couple hiccups, but it was like intuitive enough that it felt nice to play.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really struggling to perform the core mechanic of the whole game. It was really nice.
Yeah.
Franny, did this remind you at all of like Hades? That's kind of the vibe I'm seeing. Like
a little bit. It's much. I think the two character vibe was much more like unique.
Cool. Okay, that's
obvious
exactly
like roguelike stages were pretty familiar, but that specific mechanic really made it stand out.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And like I love that the final version is also going to have like couch and online co-op. Where, you know, one player controls the mage and one controls the sword, but you're still restricted to you have to stay close to not form the tether.
That is going to be fun, though. I hope we get to do that.
It is going to. I am very excited for the final release, which is soon. This is actually maybe my favorite game that I played on the show floor because the demo was pretty meaty. You got a full stage to go through. You got a couple of bosses to fight. You could take your time, and oh god, it felt good. And yeah, it's coming out in like 2 weeks. But like, it's nice coming away like really impressed with things that like. I'm really excited about what Namco Bandai is putting out right now in their non-anime side of the things. And then I'm gonna talk about two more games. One of which, Onimusha, the new Onimusha. I had a wonderful demo of that. Which I tore through faster than any other person because. I'm really good at Neo, and they really scratched my my Neo 2 itch because it feels like Neo. Like but with the parrying of Wo Long, so like everything could be parried if your timing was good. I'm hoping there are more difficulties than the normal difficulty in the final version, but like even like you'd get like people shooting arrows at you from afar, and you could parry those and send them right back at the guys.
Oh, wacky.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is a very Souls-like game. Uh, it feels like the action feels like a Neo. Like here, yeah, parry the arrow right back at him, and it stuns them for like a significant period of time. So you just run up and kill them. It is so
what
nice.
makes this rise up out of the, because like Onimusha is a series that I don't think has been around for a while, and is late to its own genre, if that makes sense. Like, really late to its own genre.
It's really late to its own genre. Like even
So,
right there is like you have your Oni powers and things like that. It's very Neo. Like, but you know, if you're gonna put out a Neo like, I'm glad the original Neo like is putting it out. Yeah, Neo was an Onimusha like, and now Onimusha is Neo like.
That's bizarre.
It's so weird to think about, but it ruled so much. Like the boss fight.
What's it do to? Oh yeah, go ahead.
The boss fight that you had in there felt really good, because that was the first time I was like really thinking about my timing on everything, and then I killed it without getting hit, but it
nice.
definitely
Don't hit the boss.
Yeah, it felt like I am so glad to have this franchise back, because part of the reason I did buy Neo when it came out was like, oh shit, this looks like Onimusha. I miss Onimusha. This is like, what if Onimusha didn't have Jean Reno? Was Neo. They replaced Jean Reno with Billy.
Hey.
But like overall, like that one felt really good, and I am so excited for what it is, and hopefully a slightly higher difficulty.
Yeah, something where it actually challenges you, so you don't just no-hit every boss.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm surprised they didn't put on a demo that just killed you.
Yeah, I kind of wish, because that's what the Final Fantasy like Square did, where it was just like, all right, try to get to the end of this dungeon.
Yeah.
Like I was the 5th person to get to the boss through the entire day of the Dragon Quest II demo. Only 2 people actually beat the boss.
That's what I'm saying, is that I think demo strategies, you should be looking to kill players. You should be looking to be like, all right, you got 10, 15 minutes to learn this game. You're going to learn it. You're going to be pushed on it by it and be like, uh-oh, how hard does this get? And then you're going to get killed by it, so that when you walk away from that booth, you go, I can beat that game, though.
I do, however, think the Dragon Quest II demo did one of my more egregious issues with demos sometimes, is when they tell you, here's your challenge, get to the boss and beat the boss, you have 25 minutes. I am not going to be searching for treasure or playing the game like I normally would. And I do think that can negatively impact my impression of a game. It didn't in this case, but some of the time demos that do the haha, here's a challenge thing, leave me going, really?
Well, I think, there's a difference when you put a timer onto it. If the challenge is beating a clock, that does change how you play dramatically.
Yeah. So, like, if this had been a demo on my PlayStation that I downloaded, that said, hey, here's your dungeon, go through that dungeon, I would have been like, okay, I'm going to take a few hours to do this. Like, I put, like, 40 hours into the Neo 3 alpha. But, you know, I do think if you're going to do the, hey, we're going to throw a hard boss in here at you, give me time to grind or do something to build myself up to grow the skill I need. And then I played, and we'll continue moving on. I played a game that was a little bit delightful. Show a super quick trailer here. Birdseed VR. The entire game is a VR co-op game where all you do is take photos of birds. It's a bird watching simulator.
That's it. That's all I need.
With your friends. You sitting around a campfire with your friends taking pictures of birds. There's no competitive element. It is co-op relaxation. And it was absolutely delightful. Buffalo had a couple of really cool games there. This one comes out soon. But their other game just came out, and that was where Control Room, why you know worky. There we go. That was Fresh Tracks, which is a music game, a rhythm game where you play as a skier. So you're skiing down the tracks, picking up things and hacking your way through trees and stuff like that. And it is just like really, really cool idea for a rhythm game. Like,
I'm super interested in these kinds of rhythm games that break down, they add story, right? They add story to a narrative plays around you while you are performing a rhythm game. And it looks like this is a game where you switch tracks by like changing the slopes that you're on. So like it naturally progresses a couple different directions down like lanes.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot. I'm seeing Sayonara Wild Hearts, but I'm also seeing Everhood. I'm seeing, this is a thing where like it's the hardest thing to add narrative into a rhythm game because you're tunnel focused on performing the rhythm game, right?
Yeah.
Anything that happens that tells you narrative around that is like so peripheral.
Yep. And just what I loved about it is like their big selling point, because I was walking around with a streamer friend of mine, their big selling point to him was, hey, it's all our own music, so you can stream it safely. Which is something you worry about when you it is something you worry about when you are playing a rhythm game. Is my entire VOD going to be muted when I finish this? But just there was something really just zen about it. The music was really good. I really like the guys who are making it. I've been reaching out to them to talk more about their games because they're very cool, very, very cool stuff. And both of those were delight. And the last game I will talk about, well, actually, I did play two more. I played God Save Birmingham.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm not
which
too big
was
on zombies though.
Yeah, it's a very, very early alpha zombie game. It's got a lot of promise. Zombies are still fresh. But it's got a lot of promise. I do like they have a video showing off what the last demo was at PAX East.
Yeah.
And it just like character movement was like terrain would cause legs to like bend in the weirdest fucking ways. And it was so funny. And it was just like, oh, this is early alpha still.
Bless them for showing the guts like that. That's so cool. And it
still is, but it was fun. It reminded me, honestly, of the early demos for Dead Island almost, where you're like hitting things and there's a really like satisfying thwack to it. So, I mean, pretty good. I don't know if I'm completely sold on it yet, but I did enjoy my little demo with it. And then the last game I played was called Rebel Engine, which was it's first-person Devil May Cry. You have a gun, you have a melee attack. If you stop moving, you die. You build up your combo meter to, you build up your rank. I never got above D because I suck at that kind of game, but I like the fact that the entire thing is you have 4 guns by the end of the demo, and every time you switch weapons, you automatically reload. So the entire gimmick is shoot all your bullets, immediately switch weapons, shoot all your bullets, immediately switch back, and you've got all your bullets back. So you're just constantly
and then you never stop shooting
and moving, and it feels
Cool.
good. Like, it felt really good. It was fun. I wish they had a trailer on YouTube, but they don't. They're only trailers on freaking TikTok, and but very, very
nice.
Just
the TikTok game devs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
A very, very good time. There are more games that I have had demos sent to me that I need to poke through. Because I spent a lot of time Monday walking around introducing myself to a lot of game developers and saying, hey, Starlight Car is a thing that's going to be happening more.
Yeah, do some more dev talks. Fire up the Starlight Car.
Yeah, I talked to a few of them and was just like, there were a couple of companies that were right next to each other, and I was like, I would love to get both of your art directors on to interview each other. Because one of my big issues with shows with panels that are like, oh, this dev is bringing on to talk to another dev, and they never actually talk to each other. They just answer questions from a moderator. No, what I want to do is I want to bring a couple people on to talk to each other. Where, yes, I am moderating, but they are talking to each other, not just responding to what I said and going question to question. And then I will bring up one final thing that has me really delighted. So on Sunday, I showed up at 7 a.m. I think, to wait in line for a very long time so that I could get one of these.
Yeah.
That right there is a ticket for an autograph session with Naoki Yoshida, Hiroshi Minagawa. And I had a little piece of art from my girlfriend that I wanted them to sign. And sure enough, after waiting in line for a significant amount of time,
awesome.
That's so beautiful.
I got exactly what I wanted. Look at that. Look at that. It was so cute. I got up there and I told the translator, you both have made games that are incredibly important to me. And I would love to have you sign something that was drawn by the most important person in my life.
Yeah.
And they were just like delighted. And then you hear Yoshida go, I call Betty. And he signs right on the belly. It was so. But yeah, I got to meet everyone there, and their translators. And I did take they were like, oh, would you like a photo taken? And I was like, yes. But I would also like Foxclawn, who's their head of PR, who is always on the live streams with Yoshi P, the things, as well as I also was like, and they were like, yeah, okay. And then I was also like, I would also like your translators in here because they are also incredibly important to this whole thing and why you can do what you do.
Yep.
And it was just a delightful time and made me genuinely like really, really happy to talk to them for a couple of minutes and let them know that, hey, your games are a significantly important part of my life, and thank you for making them. Thank you so much. And that
I'm glad you
was
got a nice little PAX moment. That's amazing.
yeah, that was my PAX. Franny, let's go to you. What games all did you get your hands on?
I'm wondering if you managed also to catch any PAX moments like that. Anything where you like ran into somebody or something.
A couple actually. Let me get my thoughts together here. I didn't actually sit down to play too many.
Mm-hmm.
The main one, because I walked in on Friday and I immediately went to Dread XP because at this point, pretty much most of the shit they come out with is shit that I want to see.
Okay.
I
I'm
wanted to
hoping
check
that
out.
we'll finally overlap because Lorelai and my games have no overlap at all. Maybe me and Franny, we can sync it up. What you got?
I played Entropy. I talked to a producer for Dread XP about Entropy. That was on Monday, but I sat down and played Entropy, which is a made by the same people who made Dread Delusion. So it looks very much the same style, except one thing that was nice was, that style maintained like PS1 graphics type of style. All of the finer details were really like tightened up. So like small like objects or text or small UI elements that were like honestly kind of hard to see in Dread Delusion are like like perfect now. It's really great. It's like a post-apocalyptic open world tactical turn-based RPG with kind of an overworld where you're really big and you go through it's like, this is not going to be relatable to anybody, but the overworld in I believe Star Ocean till the end of time, where it's like you are really big and you're running along the world, and then there's like a town here, a forest here, a tent here, and you just run to those things, which is just a style that I really like. And basically, the demo was you are part of a theater troupe who are putting on a play, and your play is interrupted by a demon attack, obviously. So then you have to go to, part of the demo was going to warn the other towns, and you pick up stragglers along the way and add them to your party. It does one thing that I really like that I think is pretty common at this point, but I still like it, is when you're able to build the attributes of your character in the beginning via like dialogue, where it's like so many games I've been playing lately has done this, which I enjoy, where it's like someone's talking to you and the way you respond, the way you interact is like very warrior like, or it's very mage like, or it's very rogue like, I think that's very cute.
I totally agree. The interview,
Yes, I'm also playing something that they sent me some other studio sent me let me rephrase. The people who made Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon sent me a code for the game to try out before PAX, and they do the exact same thing where you're in prison and the guard is like, oh, I bet you're one of those criminal types, and then you get to say like what kind of criminal you are. Where it's like you're either sneaky or you're an asshole or whatever, Yeah. And so I spoke to the producer there. Last year I had spoken to I believe he's like the creative director mainly, James, about Dread Delusion. And there was a lot of those same inspirations about like Bethesda games like Morrowind. And this one's a little bit more Final Fantasy with the tactical turn-based combat. It was just very cool. I don't know how else to describe it. Those games are just very, very aesthetically pleasing.
So,
and yeah.
Would you say it is the kind of game that has finally made turn-based games live again?
It certainly is trying.
I'm
It
sorry.
seems like no, it's like that other game we saw. Name I cannot remember, where we're like, why are people not making tactical turn-based games anymore? Where you're on little blocks on the ground and the guys in the back can't get hit and you have to protect them. Like just you choose your options. I like it.
Yep, same.
I also saw any of these demos that I did not play myself. I watched obsessively just to kind of get a feel for them. Another one of them was Valor Mortis, the like first person Souls-like based during one of Napoleon's conquests. I can't remember exactly which one it was. He says in the interview. But
Whoa.
it's interesting because you think that Souls like a big part of what makes those its own genre is you need to be like very reactive. You need to be able to be reactive, and a lot of it is just trial and error on the same enemies.
Yeah.
At least in my experience. And so you would think that there would be, and there are, like a lot of limitations to like first person combat that would disrupt like the satisfying parts of Souls-like games. And that is something that they are bridging, which is like kind of controlling, when you're in first person combat, you don't always get the best sense of like depth of field or like reaction. You don't have the sense of like seeing the whole stage as you fight a boss.
Yep.
And I think partially a lot of what helps is that even though this is a game with some magical elements, like some supernatural elements, a lot of the people you fight are other people in Napoleon's Foreign Legion who are just like messed up. So it's like a guy with a rapier, coming at you.
Yep.
So that, you're kind
It's
of
like
on equal
Greg
footing
from
there.
down the street.
It's literally like your coworker who's got a sword, and it's like, all right, so I don't need to watch out for like a swirling miasma closing in on me from across the map. Okay, that works, and it's very beautiful. And the guy I got to do an interview was one of the narrative designers. So he spent a lot of the time talking about the narrative, which is perfect. That's what I wanted to know. Because I'm like, I'm sure like an Assassin's Creed has probably skirted around it, but I don't know. Like Napoleon era hasn't. That's pretty new.
That's kind of rare. No, that's
Yeah.
Napoleonic Souls-like. You kind of got me with this.
It looks very cool. And so that was very interesting. The Tainted Grail guys are right next to, and watched a little bit of that, even though I'm pretty sure I played what they had demoing there just in the few hours that I had it before PAX. That's another good game. That one is basically that one's also first person combat, little less punishing than like a Souls-like. It's much more straight up first person RPG, based in some like King Arthur Merlin times, but with a very like dark fantasy magical like twist. It's hard to explain. It's very interesting, and it's like there's also, I will say, obviously, like things like Arthurian legends lend itself really well to like a dark spin. But then in the beginning, you go to like King Arthur's tomb, and it's fully H.R. Geiger shit, and I'm like,
what?
That's fun. That's also fun. So you've not only taken like a very dramatized dark fantasy twist with an already like classical medieval setting, and now there's like biological stuff, wires and goos and whatever. Like that's okay.
Nice.
So I'm excited to dive a little bit more into that. I did not get to speak to them. There was another one called Hank Drowning on Dry Land. His premise, it's very comic booky. Like genuinely, I guess I could be pulling it up. Hold on. It's very like.
Nice. This
Working?
rocks.
Is this working?
Yep,
It is.
it's working.
Okay, so I'll just leave it muted. But it's very obviously inspired by, I said, Wildstorm comics. His visual kind of guy was not there. The guy who did the art for it. He was the like game designer. The big thing about this is like you are basically, it's kind of co-op, but it's avoiding yourself so you don't cause a paradox. So there's a lot there's a lot of independent elements that are working like together and against each other that you more or less control. You control time, so you can go back. He said as far as 30 minutes, which is pretty impressive. And it's just got this really insane visual style that I like very much. And his pitch was like, what if Batman was drunk all the time and could control time? And I was like, you know what? I'm seeing it. And the interview I had with him was so delightful. He was like so happy to be there. And his main thing was like, I'm happy to be here. I'm so happy that people are seeing finally the finished part of the project that I just kind of want them to see what I was seeing when I was trying to make it, because he was the one that pitched it to like his art guy. And the art guy was like not like totally getting it right away, and then it like finally clicked for them. And he just had all this enthusiasm about like physical media and like realizing a project that made him like making it look like how it looked in his head. And I was like, brother, I fucking get it. That's it. That's how you want it,
Oh my God. So you caught him right as he's like, he has finally manifested the project in a way where it looks like what his vision was.
Yeah.
And so he can finally demo it to people and be like, that's the Hank that I was looking for.
This is the
That's
game
so validating.
that I had in my head. And it's so he almost had like a relief, where he's like, we did it. We did it, and people are seeing it and they're getting it. And I was like, I am obsessed with you. He was so delightful.
I had the same thing happen with I got to talk with the Captain Wayne folks. Do you remember when we interviewed them 2 years ago?
Yeah, they were here this year. They had a bigger booth.
They had a bigger booth.
They had a slightly bigger booth. We're climbing up. We're climbing up.
People are making it. It's really exciting.
I'll go back to, since I was talking about it, I just want you to see this. I'm so goddamn excited for Entropy to come out. There's something about like early like PS1 graphic styles that you can make look like you were trying too hard to do it.
Yep.
Like it evokes it, but it still kind of looks too polished.
Oh, that slug guy's a friend. Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like talking to the producer and I was like, isn't it? I do like stories where, yes, the world has ended. Yes, we're in a post-apocalyptic, but we're still going to do theater. We're still going to do music and pro wrestling probably and all these things. And that's what I personally believe. Okay, what else did I talk about? I caught up with a few of the guys that I talked to last year because they also were back. They were a little bit more developed. One of them had designed. One of them he made AO containment, and he did that out of RPG Maker with like a bunch of plugins. And I showed up again and I was like, what's new? And he was like, we made 2 other games based on all of the plugins and the system that we kind of made this AO game out of. And one of them's like a Spore and Pokemon crossover, like kind of
That's
style.
Pokemon.
Right? And then another one that he was like, we're still working on it. But it's all kind of based on the system of plugins in RPG Maker that they developed, which they are very proud about, and they should be. And then another guy, the guy that is making Away From Home, who is, by the way, 21 years old. Because when I put in that interview to be touched up by the rest of like you guys, we were reading it, and that's when it hit me that he said he played Undertale in middle school. So I went, hey, by the way, can I ask you? I was like, you said that you played Undertale when you were in like middle school. He went, yeah. And I went, so that means you're like, he's like, I'm 21. And I was like, oh my God. Let me show you.
Baby.
Nice.
So like he does all of the pixel art himself. And it's like a rhythm game, kind of like Undertale, obviously, where it's like you do your combat through rhythmic movements and stuff like that. He's been developing this for like several years now, and I'm like, dude, you should have seen the slop I was putting out when I was 21. This is incredibly polished and creative for like someone so young. He's like, yeah. He's like, I know. I'm like one of the youngest guys in here. It's really weird. And so that's part of it. And this is about to come out, which I'm very happy about. He had like a Kickstarter that failed. And then someone just kind of came in and was interested and kind of like venture capitalist it, you know?
Okay.
So that's kind of how he was able to finish it.
Was it a venture capitalist or was it a good Samaritan
It was a
venture
good Samaritan.
capitalist?
It was a good Samaritan. It was like a guy with money, not like a
monster with money.
Exactly.
I mean, how much money does a 21-year-old really need?
How much money makes you
$12 whole dollars?
Where is that line? I think it's when we start getting into the millions. However, also the other guy, the royalty free for all, he had a way bigger booth, and I was like, and
hi Ryan.
Get out of here.
Wow, Ryan Reynolds was the one who came in and saved his game.
He had a way bigger booth, and every time I was going up there, he was like getting interviewed by people, and I was like, you know what? I'm so proud of him. I'm just gonna leave him alone. So it's very nice to kind of see those people return and have like more to show, more going on with their game, impending release dates. Everybody's doing really well. That was lovely. What else? On my way to the Dan Olson panel, I had stopped to go back into the parking lot to eat a sandwich I left in there.
Ooh.
And
you left a sandwich in the parking lot, like a brawler, like a beat 'em up.
I did have to fight somebody for it.
Yeah.
Was it a naked man in glitter wings?
That is how he got all of his energy to walk through the Red Bull alley. I was leaving my car, and this woman was walking the opposite direction of me, and she went, "Hey, can you help me get out of this fucking parking garage?" And I was like, "Yeah, girl, I got you." And we were walking through the parking garage because the one attached to the convention center is a labyrinth. Yep. And it's really horrible. So I helped her get out, and she was going to like an industry party thing down the street. So we just walked and talked without getting too specific. She was some sort of director for some big company that had recently had a lot of big layoffs, and she was part of it. And she told me what her role was, and I was like, don't they need you? And she was like, apparently not. Not with AI. And I was like, awesome. So we walked down, we talked a bit about like industry stuff, where she was like, oh, what are you doing here? I was like, I was talking to people, you know, I like writing about video games, so this is kind of the best way to get in there. And she was like, have you ever thought about being like a games writer? And I was like, yeah. Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, girl, like a lot, but like where, you know? There's too many, and now there's way too many. Just floating around out there looking for work. And also, it's kind of one of those things where when you go try to get, in my early 20s, I used to come to PAX and be like, oh, how did you get involved in like writing for games? And it's always a different story every time.
Yeah.
And it's always something like, oh, I saved someone's life outside of a Quiznos, and it was like the creative director for Rockstar or something, and it's like, well, that's not going to happen to me. So I guess I'll go do something else.
Well, have you tried hanging around, some Bay Area Quiznos?
Right. I'm trying to do some Great Gatsby shit with games right now. But especially now, and that was also very interesting with Slice. Obviously, AI is becoming a much bigger issue lately. It's like ramping up, and that's why it just keeps coming up. And I talked to her about that, where I was like, I went to that Indies Expo, and there was like, whoa, and there was like, all like, they had a full panel full of guys that were just like, oh yeah, I do text generation, I do asset generation, and it's like, that's the death of this industry. Alongside the other vibe, which was, hey, it's really hard. It's really hard for people in the games industry right now because there's no jobs and we keep losing our jobs. And it's like, how are you people in the same building right now and it's not exploding?
Yeah, there should be a war happening here.
So it was a very interesting dynamic. And so that was my little bit with her. That was fun, kind of meeting someone who had actually been materially impacted by things like layoffs, where the stated explicit reason was they are investing more in AI to replace people's jobs. And like, that's cool, and she's like, yeah, I've been working on games for 20 years and like no one's giving me a call back. And I'm like, so cool, girl. So that's nice to get kind of down there at the real level kind of things that are going on.
I also had a talk with someone like that where they were talking about the stuff that they were doing, and they were like, oh yeah, that's because I got laid off. And the way they put it was that they were trying to like, you can't get weighed down in all of the details because there's just, these are processes that are so much bigger than an individual person. And so they were just like, I'm just trying to naturalize the concept of being laid off anytime I'm going into a job. And I'm like, that's harrowing. But also that is the reality of it, where people are being laid off of jobs in mass, being hired in a weird kind of mass. It doesn't feel like the same amount of mass, but like they're just constantly in that flux.
There's now a natural hiring and being laid off process for these people.
And you just have to not get in the weeds with it, because it will blackpill you like instantly.
Oh, absolutely.
It will wither you if you even think about it for too long. But like, that's what that was the vibe that I was getting too.
Yeah, especially with like the new, I don't know, like I don't know if it's a surge any more than it was a surge like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but I feel like there is a huge surge of indie developers and just people trying to make games, because you're not going to probably get in a studio to do it,
Yeah.
And just the desire for resources around that new industry and so many people taking on their projects themselves. And then it's like,
I think the optimistic side of it is seeing folks take that, embrace that, like, all right, I've been laid off, there's going to be another job coming. I'm going to take this opportunity to try to make something for myself.
Absolutely.
I'm going to try to make something that expresses an idea that is core to me and only me. And that part is very nice. And I got to see a little bit of that at PAX.
Not being limited, just making the thing that you want to make has always more or less kind of turned out well,
So what did you think of when this woman came up to you in the garage and was like, "Hey, what are your dreams and fascinations?" What did you think of?
Oh God,
what were you thinking about?
Right? It's like when I first say, started going to PAX, it was such a different vibe, and it was such a different. There was so much more like possibility, and it's a different possibility nowadays. There was so much more possibility to be picked up by a studio, to work in the games industry. Obviously, like looking back now, kind of glad that didn't happen, because it's not like the games industry, even especially with the companies that 20-year-old me wanted to work for so bad, it's not like that would have been a good environment for a woman. So great. I dodged a few bullets there. And now it's like seeing like a post-industry situation where now the industry is made up by so many individuals making their own stuff, that is almost more hopeful, than the disappointment of like trying and failing for, not trying that hard, but trying and failing for so many years to get myself to a place where I might work in the games industry in like an actual productive way, like writing or something,
Yeah.
Especially when that was a little more niche and like a little bit more possible. Now it's a lot of grassroots, a lot of, like I said, a lot of indie, like meeting people who are kind of on the same level as one another, where they're constantly fighting with time and funding and their day jobs and like weird industry gatekeeping and AI now, and it's like, it's still a struggle, but it's like we're all struggling together. So it's kind of nice.
PAX really crystallizes that struggle where you do see the like all of it happening and you're not alone in it.
Especially with how it's changed. Like a lot of the big companies pulled out during the pandemic. It wasn't happening to it, but they realized that they could just do their own conventions and their own showcases. So the people who come to PAX are like the people who are here in the Seattle, Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland area, or Larian, I guess, and Capcom, I suppose.
And Nintendo. And then, oh wait, no, they're in the local area. So.
Super, very much. And then you have like the rest of they're indies. They're small studios and individuals, and that's what makes up the most of PAX, which is nice. But then it also shows a scarcity in the industry itself, which was already obvious because of all the layoffs.
Right.
There's just such a dynamic now of like these people who have been working professionally, like corporate in games for 20 years, are now free floating in an industry where it's like a lot of it is made up by people who have made a whole game like more or less by themselves or with 2 or 3 other people. And that's inspiring, but it's also kind of got to be daunting, I imagine.
Yeah.
So there's that. Just a weird a shift in my own perspective. Now that I've started going to PAX again at like post, like after 2020, 2021, especially remembering how it used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be,
No, that's I kept seeing that echoing throughout PAX, was like old heads who had been there from the before times being like, I was a different person back then, and PAX was a different thing back then. But I really felt like what the production and everything that I saw out of PAX this year, it was really special there. And a lot of those connections that you'd make that kind of make the DNA of the Penny Arcade Expo as a structure is connections. And it's connections with games, it's people, it's the media, it's all of these pieces kind of flowing together. It's all of the like underground events that they have going on constantly through PAX, like the Puzzle League, the Pokemon League, the Omegathon that's going on underneath everything. Like there's all of these things. Everyone is having like a wild journey through this event, and they're all doing it at the same time.
You have DigiPen. You have all these natural Seattle area institutions that are there supporting it.
Yeah, that made why you going to Slice is so important, because like that used to be PAX Dev.
Yeah.
There used to be an entire like developer core to PAX
Yeah.
that doesn't exist anymore. There's no connection between PAX and how games get developed.
Yeah.
And so it's
Especially
just showing what has been developed.
Right. And no, I can't wait to write that article because it was very interesting. Especially
Are these going to come out as articles? Are you going to have a couple of them that are flowing?
I'm going to do a Slice
cool.
one because I like took the photos. I talked to some of the guys there because I wanted to be like, I went to the panels. I had this. Oh, you know what was special? I had this. I went to. They had one of the panel series was like one room where there were like 8 roundtable discussions going on about different subjects. So obviously by near the end of the day, I was like, well, obviously this is going to be kind of an AI angle. So let me go to the AI one. That one was kind of a struggle. I won't get into weeds too much about it. But there's clearly a immovable object characteristic to the discussion of AI where it's like, no, I don't care that the main issue with generative AI is that there may be copyright issues. I think it's unethical across the board, just from a fundamental level. And there are people who disagree with that. So there's an inherent difficulty in talking about AI when you disagree on fundamental ethics, but whatever. And there was can I? Yeah, I'll say it. There was one guy who was there who was like pretty pro AI, and he said his kids were homeschooled and they learned pretty much exclusively through like Chat GPT. And I wanted to kind of stand up and leave, but I was like, no, just get through.
Be brave, Franny.
I need to watch this train wreck.
I did, you know, and I had raised my hand to say something because it was about like AI and education, and one of the main arguments was kids have always been cheating in school, and it's like that's not why it's bad. You know what I mean? Like so I raised my hand to kind of say that, but then I lowered it because I was like, no, there's no point. I'm just being contrarian at the moment, and also I'm here to observe. So I put my hand down, and I said I passed. So the moderator, who's like a technical designer from company in area, was the moderator, and he was like, hey, you had your hand raised, like what was it that you were going to say? And I was like, don't worry about it, man, I was just gonna argue. And I had to reel myself back in. He was like, no, I get it. And we were like, about that guy next to you, right, that talked about his kids. I was like, yeah. And yeah. And so me and him sat down with this student from DigiPen. We talked for like an hour and a half about like it went from AI delusion, venture capitalism, housing, mental health, from like 3 different perspectives, being like a student who had to have been like 19 or 20 to guy who works in the industry at an extremely high level to me, whatever I am. And like, it was just such a thrilling, cathartic conversation, especially after the roundtable, where it was like, there was still very rudimentary conversations happening about AI, right? Especially in the space where it's going to take a lot of jobs. I'm like, we should be past this now, the square block and the square hole type of conversations we're having about AI.
Yep.
You know, like just
oh my god.
So that was very nice. Like that was incredibly endearing. And then I talked to a couple of the people showing off their games. There was a little game area for local developers to show off demos and just talk with one another. And I talked to a couple of them about like, so it seems like there's a whole Seattle indie developer community, kind of like I equated it with like pro wrestling, where it was like everybody's just trying to make their art and it's all very supportive and there are a lot of nice resources, even if there's kind of a feeling in both areas, probably in many other areas, where you kind of have to leave the Pacific Northwest to really blow up,
Yeah.
But in the
Yep.
meantime, it's a very nice area to do your art and to have peers. So that was special. I did very much like that, and I'm glad they reached out to me for that because I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
That is I'm so glad your AI story came out in the positive, and you got to talk to someone who felt like, normal, because man, that story
shade
about
to slice. It happened organically,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You were at a roundtable discussion, and someone bringing up that they are a parent and that they have used ChatGPT to just homeschool their kid it's such an own goal. Like, okay, the thing that you are telling me is that you pride the paradigm of technology that that technology is always good, that technology is always productive, and that technology will always get better. You've taken that paradigm and said, I will skip parenting.
Literally.
Because I'll just subsidize the skill of parenting and use technology to do that instead.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what you're saying, but you know what I'm hearing is
school.
Yeah.
You're not
I'm
even
hearing
doing it. Oh my god.
The
I'm
worst
hearing,
part of
I trained my kid on Netflix.
Yeah, the worst part of this whole thing is like, finally I have found something worse than my kid learned everything from the Disney Channel or whatever.
It was so nuts. It was like, why are they
you're
even
letting
being
your kid
homeschooled
get
if they're not
raised
doing
by
it?
you're letting your kid get raised by the television. It's like, I'm letting my kid get
like-
raised by the real humanity that is ChatGPT.
That's the same thing.
He was like, oh, I don't even really have a hand in it. I just tell them to learn 9th grade chemistry, and they have their prompts and whatever. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, am I alive, or did I die on my way here? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm feeling kind of like an out of body experience where I was like, this can't possibly. It unlocked like a form of living that other people do in a way that like I had not considered before.
I have never experienced pure hatred before, but
it's horrifying. And then the other guy next to me, it's a fun dichotomy. The one guy next to me, I homeschool my kids, but I don't. The guy next to me was like, what if do you want somebody who gets through medical school used like cheating on their, like, most of it's like stuff you have to learn yourself and learn how you got to an answer, learn your reasoning and learn your scrutiny, especially in areas where you could kill people with your negligence, right? And so he's like, I don't care if you got a cheat sheet. I don't care if you wrote notes on the inside of your hand and that's information made by real people. We need to value the aggregate information that we as humans have made and share with each other.
Oh my god.
ChatGPT hallucinates 100% of the time and just manages to sometimes align with our reality. That's different. That's a different kind of cheating. You're cheating with imaginary information. That's my problem.
Yeah, my favorite AI thing recently is somebody put out an article where they tracked the entire history of like Google's AI stuff, completely inventing a character in Oxenfree 2.
Yeah.
And like it's just like this amazing thing of
you
like
can train it on poison.
This fully made up character that does not exist, that it insists is like the main character of the game.
That's my issue, and the guy next to me was like, you really want someone like getting through medical school, just getting their information from like ChatGPT, from like AI automated responses. And this other person at the table was like, well, I don't mean to drag him, but this was a completely inequitable comparison where it was like, well, does that mean we shouldn't use electric cars because there's not that many chargers anymore? And it's like, we're not cars. Also,
you just said a different thing.
Right. A human being is going to be the accumulation of all the knowledge they have gained this whole time they've been living. And yeah, in 20 years, when AI stops hallucinating 100% of the time, that's not going to retroactively improve all of the information you got when you were using it to get through medical school in 2025. And now suddenly you have to do something at your job and you have to go and ask ChatGPT. People make fun of doctors who have to look up stuff like, say, on Wikipedia or something. I don't care about that. That's real information. That's real, very verifiable, peer-reviewed information. I have a problem with people using ChatGPT. Not once have I opened that goddamn program, by the way.
Oh, never have. Never will.
I'm completely free of it. Anyway, that was.
I'm sorry. It's my job too. As an information science person, I actually have to know what is happening in that scene very dramatically.
Oh, absolutely. But it's
and
just
so
like
I've used it a lot, and it's been pretty bad. Just it's not a great experience.
I would not use it in any earnest capacity. Like, can you make me a meal plan? No. I can do that.
The stuff that they use it with search engines is not nearly as potent as it thinks it is.
Right.
And it thinks it is, people talk about like, oh, this hallucinates. There's information that is just not true here. But also it just corroborates the top results of a search page, which is already something we do with our eyeballs when we do a search on a search page.
Right.
And so it is not reinventing anything. It is just repackaging the things that are already there and taking clicks from other places. So there's the logistic side of it, which is like, even at the most basic level, the one thing that any kind of the LLM AI that's being used right now can do is so unnecessary. It is so blatantly unnecessary. But the interesting thing about the person that you brought up on your other side is like they're using cheating as a concept, as a construct. We hear this a lot in AI discussions. Is like, well, if AI is cheating, then maybe there's something wrong with the process. And it's like, that is the place that that generative AI comes out of is coming out of the most neoliberal pilled space ever. Just like it is pure concentrated capitalistic competitive greed, which is where cheating comes from.
Yeah.
So you're using the exact same source to say that the source is bad, which is why it's like, oh, we got to get out of that rhetoric. We really have to push away from using neoliberal ethics to say that AI is doing something wrong, because it is so easy for them to immediately say, oh, but AI will fix that. Like that won't be a problem when AI gets eventually good. And it's like, no, it's not going to get good. That's the point. There will always be this hallucinative factor of it because of how culture changes over time much more rapidly than how AI can establish itself. There's just no competition. We just saw this with the new 5th generation that came out. It collapsed everything. There was this huge shift where tons of companies lost big amounts of money and big dollar signs.
Thank God.
But the core of that is it was the first time where everyone went, oh, bigger was not better.
Right.
Yeah.
And not only was bigger not better, but the larger that these systems come, the harder it is to make it so that they can change alongside how culture changes. And so it was a very big like shakeup, like, oh crap, this whole thing might not work at all.
Well, that was
it's getting there. The bubble will pop soon.
I'm very proud. I think there is a bubble. Like I said, it's people are going to realize that AI does not actually do the things it wants it to do, and people are going to, I believe the majority of people are going to reject AI in creative spaces just on a consuming level. Like, I don't want to see any of it. It's gross. Even without the ethical side of it, it doesn't look good. Yeah. And I don't care about it if a human didn't make it. But that's not even going into it. We went briefly into like the surge in like straight up AI psychosis with people, and that's not even, is that the fault of the AI? Fine, no, but if that's if access to AI in these forms of like making it your companion, if that's such a high risk with so little reward in other spaces, why have it at all? You know what I mean? We survived without ChatGPT before. Just keep doing that.
Yeah.
And especially when something like ChatGPT is genuinely programmed to be sycophantic, which they said they scaled that back, but I don't know. Where it's like, of course, certain people are then going to be like form a parasocial relationship with it.
Yeah.
But like, should we be putting that like in anybody's hands if that is like one of the biggest risks on an individual level is someone's going to get really invested in their ChatGPT. And then like what happened a week before the event was the ChatGPT told this kid to kill himself.
Yep.
And then he did. So where are we now? You know, we already have enough to deal with like non-AI generated horrors. I don't know.
Omegle's still
such
a thing.
Mess. Right.
Like,
at least that's other people.
we've got there's already enough horrors coming from inside the society. We don't need to add an extra one on top of it.
It is a cold day in hell when I let a fucking robot tell me to kill myself. That better be coming from a stranger on the internet. That is the only thing that accepts that. You know what I mean? So stupid.
No.
God.
You're amazing.
I just hate it so. I've been so immersed in the AI conversation this past week that this is like the first year where it's truly become one of the main talking points, either in a way that people are trying to push it or in a way that people are trying to push against it. And it's made me so horrified, but also hopeful for the future because I know it's a bubble, but it's going to be so difficult to get to the bubble.
Yeah.
The annoying part is that when I say it's a bubble, I mean that they'll jump ship. The rats will jump ship to a new like venture capitalist thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And they'll transition. So it's like the NFT bubble when that popped. It almost like felt like it never existed.
Yeah.
I think the same thing will happen here, where eventually there will be some other thing, and then it'll be like, oh, AI, that was just a trend.
Right.
It's like, no, we uprooted our entire lives. What are you talking about?
People lost their jobs.
Dramatically changed
like
how we
people
produce
lost
art.
Their jobs. And then the bubble is going to pop. The venture capitalists are going to be upset that they didn't get their money's worth because they've spent $200 billion in AI and nobody really gives a fuck about it.
No, they'll turn around and be like, oh, those guys were rubes.
And then it's wrong.
I'm on the new thing.
One of the things the tech designer brought up was like AI creates an enormous amount of tech debt that you then have to go and pay. Like it doesn't even simplify the process. It's supposed to simplify.
Yeah, the thing I would want to tell like any technologist, if you are in a technology based industry and you work with AI, you have now saddled yourself to September 4th, 2025.
Yeah.
So like anything that you produce, anything that comes out the output of your generative AI is saddled to exactly what day that model was produced. And it will not advance from there. It cannot make something new out of these new things because it already has the set of rules that it's developed. So if you are expecting it to like make what you want, it will only make exactly what you want on the day that LLM was produced. And so it is inherently retroactive.
Oh yeah. Like you ask AI to write you a bunch of code, you then have to go and figure out what's wrong with the fucking code.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you could just have somebody whose expertise it is and experience to write the code. And it would have cost less time and money.
Yeah. I think my favorite story of the NFT craze is when you talk to they finally released the mobile game that the old Shin Megami Tensei designer was working on. And he gave interviews talking about how it was pretty much the most miserable experience of his life because he had to draw like 100 times more art than he ever had to for a Shin Megami Tensei game, so that the NFT generator could pick and choose and actually make things that would resemble his art.
Hell on
And
earth.
so it was like, yes, they were doing the hey, if you're going to do generative AI off somebody's art, they were doing it the way you should, where you pay the guy to draw a shitload of fucking art that it can
Right.
draw from. But also, all these people are realizing, oh, it's 1,000 times more work than anyone should
So much
ever
more
have
work.
to do. And it costs more money. Like,
Yeah.
sure, you could make an infinite number of cards for your game, but is it worth it?
It's so
I
short-sighted.
guess some people really like AI. Oh, another thing
Yep.
was, did you see, Lorelai? Did you see any of those Disney? It was like it was like a big banner that they were kind of scattered about. It had Moana on it. It was like Disney, one of their fucking things.
Yeah,
Orkana?
That was AI because
that was AI.
hold on, yeah. I'll have to find. I won't put it up, but I'll send it to you because
Oh God.
the oar she was holding was above, like over her hands, like front. And you look at it and you start to go, wow, there's actually kind of a few things that are fucked up about this image. And that's the thing, was like, yeah, at a glance, I didn't notice that until somebody pointed it out, which might be what they're banking on.
Oh yeah.
But the
No,
people
that's
who
definitely
use
what they are
AI
banking
and are
on.
scrutinizing their own work that they're using with AI don't seem to even be scrutinizing it.
We did see at PAX this year, and Anime Expo also. They've just been kicking people out of booths. They've just been like, "Oh, you brought AI, bye."
Yes.
Oh, did they kick out some AI people from PAX?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep. Well,
I saw
so
this
it was.
one.
There was a furor before they even showed up, and they never showed. There was just straight up like, "Oh, this was where that booth was gonna be," and there was a cultural uprising, an outcry. That was just like, yeah, if you show up at this PAX, we're gonna get you.
I don't know where this was. A friend of a friend sent an image that was like a photo of someone's booth, and on the table was like a big sign that said this person was kicked out for selling AI. A couple of other signs like that. So there are some places. There was that Indiepocalypse guy I took you to who curates small indie games with permission into collections that are, it's like a cassette tape holder with a thumb drive in it, just for to do physical media stuff. And there's like individual art on each collection curation that like sort of, I suppose, shows the vibe of the collection. All of his collections are like vibe based.
yeah.
And I was standing there and I was
Yes.
looking at them and I was like, please God, I hope this is not AI. And through the natural course of our conversation, he was like, yeah, so I just I have people submit their games, I curate them into collections that I think they complement each other, and I'll hit up like an artist and have them create a piece of art that reflects it with I just asked them to have an apocalypse on it. And in my head, I'm like, thank God, thank God, thank God. No more AI, please. Please, it's so ugly. So there's still holdouts, We're still holding out.
Yeah, like I still remember I think it was you I was with where we walked past those like desk mats.
Yes, and I was like,
And we had
hey,
no idea. Like I was
is
just
this
like, I
AI?
don't know if this is AI
Or
or
is it
just
just
a
bad?
really poorly blown up image of Mount Fuji.
Exactly. I was like, I can't tell. I know there's one company
Vendors
that
in the
makes
space.
that makes
They're
those,
like,
yeah.
oh, we don't do AI. We just take the pictures off of Google image search and blow them up really big.
Yeah.
We're doing it the normal way.
We're doing it the old-fashioned way.
Thank you.
We're making the right kind of garbage.
We're stealing outright.
Oh, it was
It's
so
just
like there
stupid.
was some stuff that was just like I have no idea if this is AI or not. I do not know. It's weird.
Right. And it's like now you're making me hope for old-fashioned garbage. Like I just want you to have stolen somebody's work the old-fashioned way and blown it up and sold it for money.
Yeah.
Like I don't want that, but it's preferable to fucking AI at this point.
Yeah, why couldn't you do the back corner of comic book show artist alley guy?
Yes. It's just weird. It's the first year where it was like as big of a talking point as it was, and I can't imagine having to actually make games in this kind of environment where it's so prevalent, and maybe not as prevalent as it seems. Like when you really get down to the people who are actually getting traction, who are actually making money and selling their games. But what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Where the score is right now, I saw the games developer magazine, the game developer website, where the people from what was it? The editor from was that Eurogamer? Was that not Eurogamer? What's the Euro Con that was like 2-3 weeks ago? Gamescom.
Oh, yeah.
They were
Yeah.
at Gamescom, and they were saying like, oh, all the business meetings with the management teams in Europe were all about AI and how much we are using it as much as possible, but making sure the end product doesn't see it.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you should be scared. You should be terrified. Because every time that comes out that you are using AI in your back meetings, which will come out because
Yeah.
it's the only thing anyone ever talks about.
Yeah.
So, if you are using AI in your backroom meetings, in your Slack channels, as like, oh, this will just be placeholder. No, it won't. It will slip through the cracks and be caught. And B, that means that all of the employees that you're working with are going to be talking shit about how your management style uses generative AI to do the management for you in order to replace them.
Yeah.
That will also come out. And when it does, oh man, you are in for a shit storm for a couple of weeks at least, if not much longer, because that shows that the roots of your artistic design have been compromised.
Yeah.
There is now what we call in the arts industry stain. There's
Yeah.
stain on your work, much akin to if you're Randy Pitchford, and every game you make now comes with the caveat that, oh yeah, that guy had that porn stick at
Right.
at medieval times. Oh, if I'm working at Gearbox, yeah, you're working with Randy Pitchford, which means you are working with the Mr. Stain himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how art works. That's how all art works, is that there's going to be some kind of stain, and you want to hopefully mitigate that as much as possible. And if you're just not going to, and you're going to flippantly use it and be like, I'm gonna be the manager who gets away with it. It's like,
Right.
first of all, look at what you're saying, and second of all right, you've now compromised your entire team, you've compromised everyone around you, and when it gets out, you're gonna look like a jackass, and it's gonna not be fun for you.
Well, and then you get like the amount of tools that it's just started to be included in can screw
It's hard
people.
to get away from it. Yeah.
You go on to there used to be like really good Photoshop libraries of stock assets that you could just plop in as placeholders. And now you have like what happened with Expedition 33, where they used stock placeholders from Photoshop and it was AI generated, and they didn't get it out of the final release when it first launched. And yeah, within a day they eliminated it, but it made them look really fucking bad. It makes people look bad when they, innocently fuck up.
Because shit is
and
everywhere.
that's why we call it a stain, is because you can't patch it. You cannot patch your own artistic stain.
Right. There's there's like a long-standing promise that the stock photos on stock image websites, on Photoshop, on whatever, Adobe shit, like, is work that you can use without worrying about it. Now AI has permeated so much of it that goes out the window.
Yep, which is management. That's the management's job, is to provide the team tools that will be appropriate and useful and as helpful as possible. And that's the thing. It's like when you look at how Expedition 33 managed that, it's like, well, how did they get those tools?
Yeah.
How did those tools fall through without being, looked at really invasively? It's like, all right, if you're management, you got to look at your tools. That's number one.
Another thing, just real quick, about that AI panel from Slice. I was in there for 10 minutes before I thought my head was going to explode. I did get some stuff where it was everything from it was just AI companies who are the main thing was they were like, oh, we want to make a AAA game with a team of under 30 people. And it's like, okay. Or we want to make a character that doesn't cost $10,000. And it's like, what? Okay. And there's generation for text for manuals and stuff, which is awesome. And from
you can just
that,
write anything. Lorem ipsum
you
it,
could
dog.
you could just fucking write stuff. And asset generation. Great.
Are you saying you're an ideas guy, but you ain't got no ideas?
Literally.
Come on, management.
Because
come on.
And there was one for projections. So they were like, oh, our program sees how well Peak did and figures that out for us. And it's like, that's not taking into account many elements. And then real quick, the last one was we're a little bit more conservative in how we use AI because we want our the assets and all that kind of stuff created by people because when we polled a lot of our audience, a lot of our consumers are Gen Z and Alpha, and Gen Z and Alpha value authenticity. And I went, I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's like they're just it's like there's almost a delusion to the big AI people where it's
delusion.
You're saying, our fucking audience values authenticity, but I can't be bothered to pay people to provide the authenticity.
Yep.
There's got to be some other way you can save money. Or maybe you don't need to be making a game if your aim is to make a AAA game using only 30 people who are now being overworked because they have to do the work of other human beings and then also fix all of the work that AI is doing. Maybe you don't need to be playing a video game. Maybe you need to go be a finance manager somewhere.
I will never forget. I think it was one of the German subs for Crunchyroll that just included ChatGPT said.
Right. Oh my god.
That is just one of the biggest problems with using text things is ChatGPT or using your AI, generative AI. It is words. So a lot of editors are going to see a block of words and look past it.
Of course.
They aren't going to catch it all the time that somebody used ChatGPT as filler because what they are looking for is there. And a lot of times their job is not to clean up your grammar. So they aren't even really looking at the text a lot of times. They're just looking to see that it's there and okay, blah, blah, blah. But it's so sad how often chat a generative AI slips through because it looks real enough. Oh, excuse me. It looks real enough that a cursory glance is going to miss it. It's like the Expedition 33 thing. It still looks like fucking newspapers. Yeah. That's all I'm looking for. Newspapers on a pole. I'm not looking to see if, it's what's on those.
Yep, but the collective of all folks are.
Yep, exactly. Somebody is going to see it because somebody is going to be an anal freak like me who likes looking at shit like that. I love, I love looking at the background details building out a world. So I'm going to catch some stuff like that because, it's It's
And
very
now-
like, no, this is, like the stuff I like to look at.
And now my beloved M Dash has become so closely associated with ChatGPT that I can't even fucking use it. I
Yep.
loved M Dash before ChatGPT was even a sparkle in someone's eye. This is so unfair.
Oh, same with me. And I fucking absolutely love using ellipses.
Yes.
And I can't do it anymore because it's so associated with ChatGPT stuff. And it's like, no, I miss you, my ellipses.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
All right. Now, to move on, Franny, are there any other games you wanted to touch on before we move on to Solon?
Right. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry for
Solon.
the AI.
That was an awesome
I mean,
discussion.
that
No,
was
I
an
really
awesome
appreciated it.
discussion. Like,
it was a big
like if
part.
it weren't for like
Big part now.
deadlines of people having to do things, I could go on for
I'm sorry,
hours
you're
with
right.
that. But
Let's go.
yeah, Solon, what all did you get up to playing? What were your games you're going at?
Yeah, I will just very quickly go over a bunch of different games. Yeah, that's the one I want. I'm just sharing the screen with you all. Hopefully it just works the way I expect it to.
Oh, hell yeah.
Lots of games. I've got a whole bunch that I want to talk about on the show floor. Seeing a new challenger in the PAX Rising booth. They won. They got the big dub.
Hell yeah.
For translating Beatdown City, now a full franchise. Beatdown City becoming a Survivors game is such a good look. Hey, folks, did you know you could just wishlist Beatdown Survivors right now?
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for this. I really hope that this leads to people playing Treachery, because
I
that
love
RPG
Treachery.
it's a game where you are going through the streets of New York in a beat 'em up, but the beat 'em up also turns into a turn-based RPG. And it's such a distinct RPG because the way you use resources in it are supposed to be like you are doing physical kung fu. It costs you energy to do specific moves in specific orders. And so if you string the right moves together, you'll get a combat string, and that uses less energy because you're used to doing it. Taking that whole concept and then turning all of the assets and using it for a Survivors type game, I'm just like, yes, you're a genius. Yes, absolutely. Anyone could be doing this, but y'all are the people smart enough to pull this off in a way that it looks so effortless. So
Yeah.
Survivor, Beatdown City Survivors is
yeah.
That was one of the fun demos that I got my hands on.
And the art style's a little different. They changed up the assets, so we get new looks for all of these characters that I've known for years. And it's like, oh, awesome, fantastic. I talked to Ray J, who's one of the artists on it, and he was just like, yeah, it was really nice to be able to like go over the old assets again and give new looks to like Lisa Santiago and the gang, because they have not gotten that chance to evolve yet. And so seeing this is like, oh yes, oh yeah, we're climbing. This is now a franchise. This is now the Beatdown City architecture has all of this stuff going on. So yeah, seeing Sean Alexander in there was like, all right, we're in the right place here.
Yeah.
That was a good start to things. I also was at the Dread XP booth, and this was a different game than the one you were talking about, but did you get to see White Knuckle while you were there, Franny?
No.
Hey, what
Wait.
if Peak was scary?
Oh, I did see it. I did not experience
Which
it.
is a crazy thing to say, because Peak is a terrifying game. It's a really scary and like thrilling game to play with your friends. This is way more than that.
Oh, I want this. Absolutely, I want this.
This is way more than that. Because you are using the left trigger and the right trigger as your left and right hands up a wall. And so you are like holding stuff in one hand while trying to, rip yourself up the walls with another hand. And you always have your hands on screen, so you can always kind of see them. The you also can't just grab onto anything. You can only grab onto specific footholds and like ledges and edges of stuff. So you have to keep your eyes forward while you are also maintaining the stamina, which is your hands. The stamina meter is just your hands on the screen getting redder and redder.
Oh, I
And
love that.
you don't know when the like limit is, but they keep getting a deeper shade of red. And you think, oh, that's as red as these hands can get. No, they keep going. It keeps getting worse. Like, it keeps getting nastier to look at your hands and be like, oh, I'm not making it. I'm going to die soon. And as long as you like trade what hands you're doing, the redness will like hit certain levels where it's like, okay, I can maintain this level of strength within my knuckles. And then eventually you fall.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when you fall into a morass that is rising up below you. But unlike Peak, the things that you can do in this game, I could only do so little. And I see the person playing the game next to me on a Monday morning, and the devs were looking at them like, oh, this kid's cracked out. He was parkouring across like massive distances. You don't have a health bar you have to worry about. When you die, you die. You don't have to worry about all the little things that Peak makes you worry about. It is just grabbing stuff. So you can launch yourself. You can very much use the momentum of like this pulling motion to launch yourself horizontally across giant gaps where you grab onto whatever is on the other side of it. And so this game is going to be one of the sickest speed runs you've ever seen.
Fucking Dread XP stop being so base.
They're so good.
They
can't keep getting away with it. All right, I'm going to go into the deeper indie stuff, though. Franny.
This is the guy,
you did talk about a game. This is the guy.
I love this.
I saw AO Containment Breach, and I was like, okay, this is cool. This looks like things that I kind of know. Except, wait a minute. These are also all of the RPG Maker assets that I know very well.
Yeah.
But not in the same format, not in the same order. It's like, I see the text box, I see the overlays. I'm like, okay, yeah, all this text is being done in RPG Maker engine. Except, there's something else here. Because RPG Maker is not a dungeon crawler. You can't do that normally. I see the crafting system that they have there. Oh, what were you saying, Franny?
This is thanks to, according to him, 1 million plugins.
Yes, it is. It looks like it. It looks like 1 million plugins. And from what they told me, it's like, yeah, we've got guys playing this game, and it's like 50 hours.
Yeah.
Because the way that the game loops on itself is massive. And so they've got a really tight mystery about how do you describe what's going on here? You're in this spooky factory, trying to contain and purge these anomalies. And so you just have to go into the factory over and over and over to keep navigating increasingly large, like a hierarchy of monsters.
Ooh.
And you try to find the monster that is orchestrating all of this.
Big SCP vibes.
Big SCP vibes.
Southern California police vibes? That's ew.
They got
sorry.
So Cal Rising.
Maybe.
But it's very pretty. And yeah, you were talking about it, Freddie. The most impressive part, how I know that these devs are cooking on a level that's like they know what they're about, is they stuck with the RPG Maker engine. They invested into it to such a degree where they want to make more projects in it.
They made their own
they're
plugins
taking their
too.
Exactly.
They're iterating.
They developed their own plugins. They're making their own plugins off of other plugins, and those are turning into other games. I don't have video of the other games like they had on the show floor because those are not projects that are done yet. But those projects look completely different from this one,
right?
And still look like they are on another level of RPG Maker. And so finally seeing someone invest that level of time and expertise and probably money too into RPG Maker as a raw engine, it was so inspiring.
I know.
It was like, you can absolutely cook in this engine. And all it costs is being okay with having the text look like it's from RPG Maker.
Yeah.
Because everything else It's like, okay, the way I think about this game is they didn't worry about those things so that they could worry about way cooler things.
Yeah.
Like, all right, since I'm a dev that doesn't have to worry about how to put text on screen, I can just do everything else instead.
Right. I did play it last year, and it was genuinely, like, very entertaining.
It's so fun. I had a great time playing it. I got my ass whooped in it.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he said, we put bosses in it since last year. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Yes,
I'm never going to see those bosses, but I bet they're great.
Hell yeah.
Oh, hell. Let's go, Wayne.
Captain Wayne is just about done.
Yeah.
We brought this up earlier in the pod, but I just wanted to show some video on the stream and onto the YouTube video at the end of this. Captain Wayne is done. It is coming out very soon. So this was their last PAX before release. I think they said, what did they say? October. Like, they're very soon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so make sure you get this on the wish list, because this is popping off almost immediately. And it was so cute. They the people who helped them with developing this like mega wide super booth was the Anton Blast folks.
Hell yeah.
And so their booth setter upper professional guy, there was some continuity there that I was just like, yes, indies helping indies, let's go. They had a great booth, and this was the first time that I saw them, the developers. We talked to them 2 years ago. This is the first time I saw them not looking like they are extremely stressed out.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
They were happy and proud of the build that they were showing off. The message was like, I don't have to spend this entire con fretting about parts of the demo that don't work or crashes or bugs that are happening.
Right.
And so I don't know what to do with my body right now, but I'm very happy. These are all first-person games that I'm just like, I'm so excited about. There's so many good hands on screen.
Yeah.
For these games.
I mean, that is a really good hand.
It really is. And it turns into a machine gun that shoots bullets out of the fingers. Captain Wayne's
fuck yeah.
It's so sweet as hell. All right. Let's talk about brass tacks. I got to play Viral's got to play Kirby Air Ride.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
And so we'll see if we can get this video to play it all. But Kirby Air Riders was awesome. And last night, me and the gang, we had a little slumber party, and we played the old Kirby Air Riders on the GameCube. We brushed out the GameCube, wiped it off. It had a bunch of crud on it. Plugged in Kirby Air Riders, played some 4-player City Trial, and realized, this game is old. This game has not aged well. This is a really tough party game because the party's not really very finished.
Yeah.
And so playing Kirby Air Riders is the finished version of that game, and it's just so clear how much more time and effort was put into it in a way that like makes the game work.
I mean, we have a whole 2 buttons now.
You have 2 buttons, which
and
is too many. Let's be hey now. One button's plenty.
That's 1 button too many, but it's still like it adds a lot. It adds a lot. I mean, that second button.
Being able to play 16 players at once was the first time where I was like, I could see wanting a Switch 2 now. This game finally gets to that point because I would love to play a perfect Kirby Air Riders type game with my friends online. And so, it looks beautiful, looks great.
Yeah.
Getting to have hands on the City Trial version, there's just so much that is happening in there. Whereas when we played the old version, it was like, oh wow, yeah, if you play 4-player on this map, nothing happens out here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one person is going to get a bunch of stuff, and everyone else is kind of going to be like, all right, well, if power-ups drop, they'll drop when they drop. And it's like, no, okay. This is now a game that has been balanced and designed for 16 different players on the course, so there's always stuff to happen. There's always things to get into, people to mix it up with, and you never have that awkward moment of like, I have been destroyed, I'm off my little star, and Kirby needs to now run halfway across the map to get to another star so that he can play again.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen, which was really nice.
a lot of fun shenanigans in that game. I did play that on my media night. For
Good.
my during the media hour, that's when I took advantage of it to do games that had long lines through the week, like that one, like the Nintendo stuff. Uh, like as I said, that second button, having two buttons feels good. It's a
Yes.
good ass game. Like,
Do you remember how you used to get off of the star? It was holding A and down.
Yep.
That was just some like mystical thing, and you didn't touch it. Tapping it didn't do it. You had to hold it through an entire animation, and then if you didn't fall backwards on top of another star, you would lose stats. It's like it's so in its own thing,
Yeah.
in a very plucky, cute Sakurai kind of way, but like it's very hard to play. It's hard to play this one button game. Having a second button just made it so much more accessible.
Yep. It's honestly like it's good to have games like this, and like I'm so glad to be like excited about Nintendo stuff, because it kind of has been a while since I've been like pumped. Like, I like Mario Kart World, but also that's just Mario Kart. Yeah, you've got an open world there, but like Kirby Air Ride already had that. A little bit.
Yeah, no, having an arena racing combat game on Nintendo, it's like that's nice. There's not a lot of things like that. We don't have like a Twisted Metal situation. There's not any new Cell Damage games coming out, you know?
Yeah. Boy, I wish there were, though. I miss my Twisted Metal and just I
So that was fun.
I miss when Cliffy B made video games that were good, or whoever it was. No, it was
No, you're thinking of Diet Pepsi Man.
Yeah. Diet Cliffy B.
Diet Pepsi Man.
Oh, I have forgotten his name too. So that was what I saw on the expo show floor that really, jumped out at me. I also got to go to the Seattle Indies Expo. So like you went to Slice, which was PAX Dev.
I wanted to go to 6 so bad, but I was so stuck at Bumpermania. Well, how was that?
6 was amazing. 6 this year was 2 floors, so there was even more games to look at.
Yeah.
My dear friend Furret was showing off its newest game that they made.
Yeah.
And the reception that Furret got to it was amazing. They had just great, like, all right, I got great wish listing. The conversations that I had were really inspiring to the directions I want to take the game. And then on top of that, I got to network with all of the people that were around my booth making stuff. And so it was just like, yes, getting that kind of consistency with the Seattle scene and showing off to them was so helpful. Now that game, Chaos Coin's nowhere near done yet in a really cool way. So all of the stuff that Chaos Coin was showing on the show floor was stuff that's like, this could be revamped in the long run. There was also other games like Hyperbeat, which are almost done. And Hyperbeat, this was a game that you got to see last year, Franny, I think. They've shown a couple times at 6. And then this year, they were everywhere. They were at Slice, they were at Mix, they were at 6. Like, all of these different places Hyperbeat was at.
Hell yeah.
And it has developed so much in the last year to be this, like, gorgeous Art Deco style Res game that just feels way better than Res does. Part of, when I talked to Alice about it, part of it was like, yeah, I don't really like Res, so I wanted to make it better. And it's like, yeah, thank you. One of the scoops that I got was that they're working on a charter so that you can chart your own songs into the game.
Oh, hell yeah.
And so it should be a nice platform for making your own tunnel-based rhythm charts for all your favorite songs. And so, it looks so cool. The other game that I saw that really jumped out to me, Bubble Beast Digi Dungeon. Let me show you what this looks like, because it was a lot.
Oh, wow.
This is made by Jilted games students. They were at a game school, and they sure had some things to say that I can't talk about on here.
Hell yeah.
And then they got out of there and were like, we're making our own shit. And it's not going to be owned by a school. And so
Hell
they
yeah.
made this bubble popping game that is currently insanely difficult. It is really hard. And
I love a bubble
in a way that
popping
feels
game.
really good. So you're doing a
Nice.
little bubble bobble, not bubble ball. You're doing a little bust a move. You're doing a little Tsum Tsum, like that Disney game.
Yeah.
And it's all inside of this like DS interface.
Yeah,
Every
that was the
character that
first
you're-
thing that struck out to me was that interface.
Yeah, it grabs your attention. Like they wanted this to be a DS game so good. The DS interface, the 3DS like circle pad and stuff moves with you when you're doing stuff. All the characters are the story is that y'all are having trouble playing a tabletop together. And so all of your friends are these different characters in their tabletop outfits. And anytime that there's a conflict on the tabletop, like in the kayfabe of that space, they battle it out in Bubble Beast Digi Dungeon. And so every character, like every level is based on a character. That character has a gimmick that represents their character in the like tabletop game. That's the narrative side. And so all of those things work together where by the end I played the like the dev was like, hey, do you want to play the secret level since you're kind of good at this? And I was like, thanks, I will. They like middle clicked on the screen and like out popped like a level 4 and a level 5. And I played through those. And level 5 was a collab. It was like, here's every character from the last 4 levels with all of their gimmicks firing simultaneously.
Oh,
And it was like, oh, this rules. This is almost unintelligible, but I get what's going on after having played the last 4. It looked so cool. Gimmicks like having giant bubbles, gimmicks like having the entire map flow outwards. So it inverts the entire map. So instead of being stuck in the middle, it's the things get glued to the edges, and you have to pop from the inside out instead of the outside in.
oh,
And yeah, it looks awesome. It sounds cool. All the music is hot, and it's very gay. It's very
Nice.
gay.
Good.
that did remind me. I also did play Bubble Bobble Dungeons, which is fun.
Oh, good, you played that.
I just wish their demo timer only started once you finished the training levels, because they give you a tutorial. It is a time limited demo. They give you a tutorial and then they let you loose in the dungeon. Like I went through the tutorial pretty quick. I was only able to clear like 3 levels of the dungeon before my timer ran out, and that's where like actually putting all the stuff, would have come in handy. But it ended so quickly, I was sad because I was having fun with those dungeons, and it was like over so quick.
I was just happy to see Bub and Bob on the PAX Expo floor. My little guys, those dinosaurs. But yeah, that was my PAX. That was probably 6 or 7 of the games that they really jumped out at me, and they made me so happy. There was so many games on the floor that looked cool, exciting, fresh, in various stages of development with cool stories about how they got made coming into the game, and then they showed at PAX, and now they get to breathe new life into the thing. It was like I was talking about this with Sean Alexander Allen. I was talking about this with New Challenger, like, hey, we've been here for long enough where we've got like some pretty specific PAX traumas. Like there's like trauma response happening in certain points of PAX for me this weekend, and it was like once I noticed that, I was like, yeah, okay, we've been here for a long time, but bigger picture, you, me, Sean, like we have changed so dramatically since when we were like 20 coming to this show. And the ways that we've changed have grown, evolved. The spaces that we take up are different, and because of that, it allows us to have a lot more freedom than we used to have.
Yeah,
and so it's been really good. It was very affirming to be on the PAX show floor and be like, I am very different than how I used to be.
All right. Since we are running out of time because you've got to go to the airport soon,
Yep.
final question, final topic before we go on to questions. For each of you, what is your game of the show that you played? And second, what game are you most looking forward to? Because they can be separate things. Because, like I said, I opened it up. My game of the show was Toa, but the game I'm most looking forward to is Onimusha because it scratched my Neo 2 itch.
Right.
And also, if anyone has any questions for us, please put them in the chat, and we will get to them as soon as we finish this up.
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't have an answer yet.
It might be
I'm still
Entropy
thinking.
for both of me, honestly. I just really like it vibes with me so well.
Ooh.
I did like Toa. I'm honestly excited to see how Valor Mortis shakes out. But it's got to be Entropy, I think, for both.
Hell yeah.
Just had so much fun with it.
I don't know. I think that, like, the best on the PAX show floor, and this is going to be really dumb, it was Spy Party.
Hell yeah.
It was. Seeing Spy Party in the same corner that they've always been at.
Yep.
Like, I got teary-eyed.
I remember
it was like,
yeah, I remember when that game was first announced like 20 years ago. That's what the same corner, the same like setup, everything.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
That Reed Pop finally like figured out how to get them back in there to like it connected PAX tradition in a way that felt so validating and real, and like, okay, things are kind of normal again. Spy Party's here. And getting to see kids playing Spy Party for the first time, being like, whoa, cool. And then seeing, like, you know, people my age being like, hey, I gotta show you this game was like, it was nice. That was my favorite. That was, it hit me so deeply in my core, seeing them there and like being about to cry, because it's like, wow, how have you been, old friend, to a video game?
Yeah. There is definitely something like delightful about seeing that there.
Have you met Among Us? Hey, Spy Party. Hey, Spy Party. Have you met Among Us? This all happened while you were away.
God. Like, honestly, kind of perfect. Like, it makes me happy. All right. Remember, if anyone has any questions, please put them in the chat. You can be like Socks here. Our good buddy Scott Socks is FKA Socks, who you should follow on Twitch. Asks, what was the best PAX lunch? Solon, what was your best lunch at PAX?
The best PAX lunch. So all day on Sunday, Virals and I did not eat. We were just too busy. And at the end of the night, we knew that we were going to the best PAX party there is, the Polish party, and gonna eat a ton of Polish sausages. And so by the time we got there, we were so hungry and so tired that it was like, we lived. And so our soul was restored with some of the most delicious food that we could possibly have that weekend. And so, yeah, Polish dumplings, best lunch.
God, I truly barely ate that whole weekend. I had a dough zone with a dear friend of mine for dinner on Friday. And
did you go to the close dough zone or the one that's like a 10-minute walk away?
Yeah, the close one. We didn't even have to wait.
Double dough zone.
It was nice.
In downtown?
Yeah, there's one that's like a 10-minute walk away that's always empty.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't even have to wait that long, but it was nice. It was I was with a friend who I am like really good friends with, but barely get to see. So it was nice to spend a little bit of time with her, and I really try not to eat at the fucking convention center because it's so expensive
Mm-hmm.
and usually mid. So, also that dinner that I got with Lorelai was very good too.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you all get?
Oh, we went to a place in Seattle. There are 3 of them called Third Place Books, and they have a Korean fried chicken joint connected to them.
Nice.
So it's like a bookstore and like incredible fried chicken and like a decent smash burger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah. Mine, lunch wise was probably, I did eat once on the floor because I was just so fucking hungry. But honestly, God, I just got chicken, did chicken fingers and fries, and their fries are shockingly good.
Hell yeah. I will say the sandwich I ate in my car was also like,
Ooh,
it really hit the spot.
I mean, it is a sandwich. A sandwich always hits.
I made a really
Car
good
sandwich.
chicken salad.
Hell
I had a
yeah.
chicken salad also. That was the move.
Fuck
It
yeah.
rules. It fucking rules.
Yeah. Okay. And we have one more question. Oh yeah. 2 more questions from Morant.
We'll go quick
start
because
with
we're really at time.
biggest miss of the show.
Biggest miss at the show was the Resident Evil line. The line 2 Resident Evil, where they had like a 30-minute long demo that they would show 10 people. And so there was just this massive line that took like 3-4 hours to get through for no reason. We started it, realized how, like, did the math on how long this whole line took, and like an hour in, we were like, all right, yeah, no, this isn't happening. This is bad.
Yeah. All right. Biggest miss for me was getting a Final Fantasy Tactics poster stolen from my backpack. That sucked.
Yep.
But it did lead to the following, which was my favorite PAX memory, where I got to meet Yoshi P, and he signed this beautiful, beautiful artwork that he had found on the ground. Turned in. So that was I am so delighted by just being able to meet that man, and I'm so happy.
You had your bag rifled through, and then something fell out and it got left behind on the panel floor, and Yoshi P found it and turned it into Lost and Found.
Beautiful moments.
Oh my god.
Now, Franny, biggest miss for you and your favorite PAX memory.
Biggest miss for me personally was thinking that 6 was on Monday instead of Sunday, even though I would have only had like 2 hours to go anyway. Biggest miss for the show was Larian doesn't need to be there anymore. It's always empty, and we need to put something else there. I love Larian, but get out of there. Get out of there. You released that game 3 years ago or something. And that memory, I very much enjoyed catching up with the guys that I spoke to last year, and to see that they're doing very well.
Yeah. And Solon, what was your favorite PAX memory from this year?
There was another miss. Franny, did you get to see the Borderlands 4 booth with the Smash box?
I did. I liked it until I heard about some other stuff that was happening with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks.
So best memory, my big PAX memory moment, I'm glad you asked this, was I needed to get everyone home. And so the best way to get everyone home, because we were all scattered about the city, was to because I found out Ares went to a nightclub on Capitol Hill, and I was like, oh my god, I need to get this kid home. Was to have everyone centralize on a rooftop party at the base of Capitol Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah.
By getting everybody to that place, we were able to catch the last bus out. But it also meant that everyone had to go to this rooftop party. And so we were there for 15 minutes, during which time Ares, my roommate who hosts drag shows around here, and is a chef professionally, is on this roof with all these game developers, runs into Catherine Cross, who's a game scholar, amongst many other things, a writer and knower of all things information and politic. He runs into her, knows her from Thanksgiving, because we had Thanksgiving together, turns around and sees Sean Allen, who is like 3 times taller than Ares, and goes, "Hey, you're the guy that Solon keeps talking about. You're the guy who's really tall, aren't you?" And he's like drugling, "Yeah, that's probably me, huh?" And starts striking up this whole conversation with him. And it was just this beautiful thing where, like, I turn around, realize that Ares is here at this party, and see that he's talking with Sean, and I go, "All right, my job here is done. Let's go home."
Perfect.
And it was just this perfect moment where, like, everything of all of this PAX came together at the exact same time, and it was like right after Virals had sold a game to a San Francisco guy.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, now that's going to be it for us tonight. Solon, where can everyone find you?
Hey, find me at solon.bluesky.com. You can find me doing my gamer takes there, also all my library stuff. Anytime that I'm making or producing something, it's going to show up there in some way. One of the things that happened to me this weekend was that I did pick up a gig. One of my friends works with the Video Game History Foundation, and he needed a TA for the quarter. And so when I talked to him at the booth next to everyone that was there, he was like, "Hey, can you TA for me for this class?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right." So your boy's gonna be able to live for the next 3 months. That's great.
Hell yeah.
You can find all of the stuff that I'm doing with that class on Blue Sky, and everything that I'm doing outside of the class is going to be on twitch.tv/ChorbySP, where I put on my gamer hat and I take off my scholarship hat, except for all the times that I do homework specifically on Twitch, which happens a lot lately.
Awesome.
I make Twitch into my homework assignments now.
I mean, that's the best way to use it. All right. And Franny, where can everyone find you?
I am under a real cold mouth pretty much everywhere. I really try not to use Twitter because it sucks. I don't post too much anywhere else, but you'll see my photos and my writing occasionally. And yeah.
All right. And you can find me at twitch.tv/Judgment Scythe. You can find me here on the Gamesline, and you can find me on Blue Sky at the Judgment Scythe. Thank you,
Y'all
everyone.
got stuff that you're producing on Gamesline.net, right? Coming up soon?
I've got a whole lot of stuff coming to Gamesline, hopefully coming out of PAX, so be excited.
Oh, yeah.
Our theme song is Crush by Melt Channel. The album Magic is Real. Look them up at meltchannel.bandcamp.com. All right.
That was so nostalgic.
Thank you all very much for joining us. And
Thank you.
See you around.
Thank you.